BridgeAfrique magazine, Home of Bliss, and panaceavilleinternational. International. On Rings the Bind, we interview couples who are willing to share their story of their bliss. Now, when we say bliss in marriage, sometimes we're not just talking about the good things, we are also talking about the challenges that we have learned to overcome and those we have learned to live with. And today on the show, we have another amazing couple that will be sharing with us their story. I can't wait to get into this conversation, really. I've been itching to have this conversation. Remember that you can be part of this show. You can send in your questions, you can give your comments and your feedback. I'll be glad to take it. And then before we go into the show, I want to announce that we want to have a special edition. We'll be coming up to our 13th episode in 2 weeks, and that is a quarter. So after that, we want to do a special edition where you who have been listening to the show can ask questions. You can come live if you want, and we have a conversation about the things you have learned so far, what has challenged you, maybe things that you didn't understand that you want to understand. So send us a message and we'll be glad to respond to you and give you all the things you need to know about how to be part of that special edition. So today, quickly, let me introduce our couple. They are the founders of KYEMPIYA Orphanage. KYEMPIYA is an acronym for Children Love and Protection Advocacy Initiative. They are also blessed with 3 biological sons and 5 adopted children. So they run an orphanage and they still have adopted children at home. Isn't that amazing? Please join me welcome Mr. Emmanuel and Mrs. KYEMPIYA NYABAM to Rings That Bind. Welcome, sir and ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So before we go into the conversation, we want to meet you and get to know a bit more about you. Can you please just introduce yourselves to us?
Why is it that you don't want
to Ladies first. Birds last.
Okay, so oh my Emmanuel, when it comes to introduction, you say me, I should start so that you steal from me, or no, not actually steal from me. To
anointing fall.
buttress what I am saying. Okay, so my name is KYEMPIYA NYABAM. Is NYABAM. Yes, NYABAM. We've been married for 20 years. We'll be 20 years in September.
Hello.
That's short. September 27th will be 20 years in marriage. I am the founder of KYEMPIYA Orphanage, or rather, we are the founders of KYEMPIYA Orphanage.
She's the founder. I am the man behind the successful woman.
Behind every successful woman, there is a man.
Hey, you got that right.
There's a supportive man.
Yes, a supportive man.
Supportive man. Yes. So, yes, KYEMPIYA Orphanage stands for Child Love and Protection Advocacy Initiative.
That's right.
And by the grace of God, KYEMPIYA is 17 years in September too. KYEMPIYA is 17 years in September. Like you heard Nancy said, we are blessed with 3 boys and 5 adorable children. So 3 plus 5, 3.
That's 4. 8.
8. 8. And then we're also blessed with 2 grandsons from the adopted.
Where did you keep James' 3 kids? Hey, these grandmas, I forgot your grandchildren. Hey. Maybe. Let's check.
Okay, 5. 5 grandchildren. Beautiful. They're very beautiful grandchildren that give us joy. I'm the first in my family of 5 children. I'm the first. Yeah. So what else?
Emmanuel is also the first of 4.
So I think, so that's
basically
First
club.
Yeah, Emmanuel is also the first child. So basically, that's who we are. Yeah, we do other things. We do counseling. We are the founders of the Bedroom Talk with Emmanuel and KYEMPIYA. So we decided to wear our t-shirts. I don't know if you can see. Anyway.
If the camera was low a bit, we'll be able to see it. Can you bring the camera down a bit? Yes. Okay, so that's beautiful.
T-shirts of Bedroom Talk with Emmanuel and KYEMPIYA. And yes, so we mentor couples, we do counseling, mentor teenagers. We do a lot of things. So maybe in the course of the discussion, you'll know the other things that we do. So who are you, Emmanuel?
Emmanuel wears many caps. He's first of all a father and husband of but one wife. Emmanuel is a lawyer. Emmanuel is a theologian.
Okay, I'm an educationist.
She's an educationist. She's also a mass communicator. Don't mind that.
Wow.
So she's the brain behind all our media stuff. I got no brain for that.
Wow.
And I still think I am a social activist, fighting the rights of the unborn, the rights of children, the rights of downtrodden. I'm a coach, football coach, and I've just recently retired as a FIFA agent. I've done that for almost 30 years, and I've had enough.
Wow, interesting. Nice to meet you both, and welcome again to Rings That Bind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Considering the things that you do, now you have a family of about 8 children. You also have an orphanage that you've been running for 17 years. How have you been able to manage financials, considering because your income will be pulled in different as in different angles? Because I know that even if you eventually get support for the orphanage, it didn't come from the onset. You had to start, and then like proof of concept, people begin to see and believe before you can even get any form of support. So just let us know what it has been for you financially.
Okay, so before we got married, a lot of people, before they get married, they don't discuss this kind of things. This is a very, very sensitive topic or question that you just asked. So a lot of people don't discuss these, sensitive issues or topics when they are going out, when they are courting. So before we got married, we discussed we discussed everything. Everything. And when financial issues came up, we said, okay, so how are we going to start? In fact, when we got married and we didn't even have a bank account. So me, I didn't have. Maybe I think Emmanuel had, but I didn't even have a bank account. So we discussed, we said, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open a joint account. Yeah, call us old school. We said we're going to, and my friends were saying, no, don't do that. Oh, man, don't do that. Don't do joint account and everything. But we had our plans. We said we're going to have a joint account first, and then eventually that will be the first. Then we will now open our own, separate salary accounts. That was what we said. And the joint account, we will, from our salary account, we will put in a certain percent in the joint account. And in the joint account, that's where certain things or needs
for the
family will we will keep it there, whether they're savings or investments or whatever it is, we'll keep it in the joint account. So we have so that was an agreement between the two of us. So we still maintain our joint account, and then we still have our salary account because the orphanage pays us. So we have our joint, account, and so we use it for the family, we use it for investments, we use it for other things. So we plan. So a lot of people don't know how to plan when it comes to finances. So they don't know how to plan. They don't plan. So we write everything for the year, what you want to achieve, what the school fees of children. We don't do Christmas clothes
at all.
Our children, no. Even if we buy Christmas, our children are like, what is like, mommy, daddy, what is this?
What's this? What's wrong with
they
you?
don't understand. Our children don't understand what is Christmas. We have our children are big. We have all of them. We have 2 teenagers from our children. 3. All of them are teenagers now, and they don't understand what it means. Even the children that we adopted, the children, we have adopted the ones, and then we have the ones that were fostering. So if you come to our house, it's also an orphanage. We have like 20 of us in the house.
Wow.
So they don't even know what it means to wear Christmas clothes, because we've already, put that from the onset that no, there's nothing like that, because we need to plan for you, we need to budget for you, we need to set our goals, we need to do all of that, because a lot of people, like we that own orphanages, some people don't understand. Those that own orphanages, they don't understand that. They don't know how to separate family income, orphanage income, So there are people that sow seed also into us, into our own lives. They say, oh, go and, this is for you and your family. This is for your children's school fees. So when they do that, we just pull those resources together and put it in the joint account. And I think that has helped us a lot in this past 20 years when it comes to, finances. So I think that has helped. I don't know.
I agree. That has really helped us to a large extent. Again, monthly, we look at all our bills, we plan, we agree what we're going to do, and then we execute. And whatever is not done in that month, we carry it over and plan for the next month. And so it's made life easier for us. Of course, there are emergencies that come up that we can plan for. For instance, we just sent out to our friends that we had an emergency to complete certain things for NECO, for our children in the teenage children in the orphanage. And that process, people supported. And we quite often would have to run back to people when those kind of emergencies come, health and other things that have come out of the plan. But God has been faithful. God has been faithful. Again, I say this to couples. Don't wait till you get married before you plan. We used to joke about how many children we have, and I would jokingly say we would have a heap of little babies. Hey girl, we're gonna have a heap of little babies. I was trying to be a patois kind of person. And the joke is on me now. We have a heap of little babies everywhere now. So be careful what you say. But it's a good thing.
Yeah, wow. So basically that's how we've been to plan our finances.
Yeah.
Because we spoke about it before we got married. Wasn't something that it was okay after the marriage, and everything. No. We said when we were in church, we were playing. When they were even the pastor was preaching, we were playing. We've gone through counseling and everything. So we're like, okay.
Wow,
our parents, we don't already marry.
That's so powerful. You've mentioned 2 things that are powerful and stand out. Now, for many of the couples that we've also had here that have spoken about finance, they've also alluded to the same thing. They plan together. they keep their project monies together, they execute together. So even though it is common talk out there, don't do a joint account. I think that is because people do not understand how to operate a joint account. That's why they are always complaining about joint accounts. But even research says that joint accounts, putting your money together, accountability, takes away stress from money issues for the couple, because you know when you have, you know when you don't have. I cannot place a demand on my husband for 100 million when I know that he doesn't have it. I see the money when it comes. I know where it's going, you know, and all. So that makes life so easy. Then you now mentioned something. Okay, then you said you started planning before you got married. In fact, I had been the accountant before we got married, you know, because when you learn and plan from the beginning, it makes it easy. And then you alluded to another thing. You talked about having premarital counseling, a thorough, good premarital counseling. We also benefited from that. And I found that even as I talk with other couples, people that had gone through some form of premarital counseling, especially that which does not only look at the spiritual but other aspects of life, find that they have it easier when they start. They don't start on very rough patches like those that are coming into marriage, just knowing what is in their head, the ideology they've had, and maybe the latent learning they've taken up from their environment that have not been questioned. They just come into marriage with it. So those 2 points really, really resounded for me. Now, I want us to delve into what I'm hoping that we'll talk about really deeply now. And that is, I learned that, is it the both of you or one person had an affair in the course of the relationship?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Several affairs. The relationship.
Okay. Can you tell us the story that led to these affairs? Can you just give us a rundown?
Okay, so before he tells you the story, I was pregnant with our second child, and we're living, in Jos. We're still in Jos anyway, in Hoche. And I noticed we were sharing one phone, and I noticed that, he will go out in the night or in the evening, and he will sit by our landlord's porch for a long time. At first I didn't worry, because I was like, I trust this man now. Like, what will he be doing? Maybe he's having football conversations and all of that. So I didn't worry like that. I didn't bother, because I trusted him with everything. I trusted him, so I didn't bother. Then I noticed that when the phone rings, he will quickly answer. And he doesn't behave like that. He will go to the toilet with his phone. He will go to the bathroom to take his bath with the phone, like everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I'm stranded here. And we're sharing one phone. Okay, so I wasn't really the phone person, but I had certain important calls to make and to receive. Exactly. So I was like, okay. I didn't even bother. So one of my friends now said, we're sharing fence. And she now said, in house, I said, Kede Imanaki, that kind of thing. I said, leave me with my Emmanuel. And she said, in house, maza ba I musumaka, ba musu akawali. You don't trust men like that. Then I told her, I looked at her, I said, my manual is different, so don't even go there. So she was trying to, I think because of her fence, she has heard something. So it was like she was trying to pass an information to me that I didn't know. But I was turning a blind eye. I didn't want to even hear or see. I didn't want that kind of thing. Then one day, I was using the phone, and then I saw a text coming. So I opened the text because it's our phone. Now we they use them, is our phone.
Now we.
I opened it and then I saw, sexual messages and everything. I was like, huh? Then I now quickly scrolled. I opened the text messages. At that time it was small Motorola, so it's not like Android now. And I checked, I saw messages. What is wrong? What is happening in this our beautiful home? What's happening?
So the truth is that it started with conversations that I allowed myself to hear. Course talk from a mentor and one of my friends. They were very sexual conversations, and I was like trying to learn how to be a good husband. And here were conversations that told me I could still do what I was doing as a young man, and no big deal. So those conversations were the first prod. Then,
and the mentor wasn't married.
And my mentor wasn't married, but he had discipled so many married people. Wow. So I actually I let down my own guard with that. But it cost me. Then I entered a group called To Go. To Go damaged my life. It dragged me back into a life of pornography. Actually, my friend was the one who brought me into pornography, and pornography it's you back. No, I left it, but he brought me back into pornography, and I could not stop. And the first affair was I actually went to do a medical and ran into a young lady in the hospital. That's shockingly it happened. And for another 10 years, I was living in denial of the fact something like that happened. So I kept on trying to lie about it. I started living a lie. And that lie came to a head when she could not take it anymore. She told me, "Guy, I leave."
Wow. So can you like as you reflect back on this, was there something she could have done differently, or was there something she could have done to have helped you during this period?
She actually did everything she could to help me. But I never admitted that I had a problem. In fact, when I finally admitted that I had a problem, she caught me. I was masturbating. After we made love, she was sleeping. I went to the bathroom, masturbated. This is after several times. At this point, she already knew that I was struggling with this, and I needed to break away from pornography and masturbation. It's that shame. Because I'm a very proud Nupe man. I couldn't live with the fact that there was something that I couldn't handle. Well, I found it hard. I spent an entire night telling God, man, you got to change this story. And while sitting down, I started searching for help. And I found a group called Covenant Eyes. Covenant Eyes really helped my journey of recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that night, I just got up and I wanted to ease myself. I've never seen him, in that position, in that very, very vulnerable position. I've never seen him. And, I just know that God woke me up that night.
Exactly.
I was sleeping and I got up. I looked at the door and was locked. Because I was like, okay, if maybe he went to drink water in the parlor or in the kitchen, and I checked the door, and the lock was still closed. And I looked at the bathroom and he wasn't on the potty. Because our bed is, I can see, so I was like, oh. I was like, okay, wherever he is, maybe rapture has even happened to me, I'm here, that kind of thing. So I just got up to go and ease. I wasn't even suspecting anything, to go and ease myself. Then I saw him in a vulnerable position. And I was like, with sleep in my eyes, I looked at him and I was like, what came out of my mouth was even in pidgin. I said, guy, I shame for you.
No, what for you? I shame for you.
I just looked at him, I said, guy, I shame for you. Like, what is this? Simply we just finished a beautiful set. Like, what is wrong with you? And I left. And I eased myself. Somehow, I just had peace. I didn't even want to even quarrel. I just left him and I went to lie down. But when I laid down, I just asked God for wisdom. I said, okay, so in this situation, what do you want me to do? In this situation. And as I asked God, sleep took me. I slept. And I opened my eyes, and after I think about 2 hours or so, and I saw him. Yeah, and I saw him. You know how a child will do something and you will say, I'll punish you today. You will see, I will beat you. And then the child will be going to, or you will tell the child, go to a naughty corner, and then the child will go to that naughty corner and just stay there. That was how he was. Clinched to the wall and to the door, like he was there. When for a long time, and he was crying. And I asked him, do you need help? Because I didn't understand what was happening. And he, I knew that this one is beyond the physical. So I asked him, do you need help? And he said he needs help. That was when he admitted that he needs help and he wants me to help him in this journey. Let's go together. Wow. So in this, in our case, he admitted that he has a problem and he needs help. So that was how the journey of recovery started.
Wow, interesting. Now, I asked about whether there was something she could do, because I've heard a lot of people accuse their women of maybe not being sexual enough, and that's why they go out and all. And I've also heard women say, you know what, even if you give him all the sex he wants, if he still wants to cheat, he will cheat. So that's why I asked that question, to know if there was something she could do, because sometimes even we, the women, ask ourselves that question when we find in this kind of position. Is there something I did wrong? Is there something I could do better? Yes, I know that in certain cases, because I've met couples like that too, there were ways that the women would have been able to help. But ultimately, it's the man's decision, or in this case, since he's a man, because sometimes it's also the women that stray, but it's his decision to do what he does, right? The ball is in his court, like, to take the decision finally, ultimately.
Yes, the thing about this is both of you have to be willing.
Yeah.
You have to be willing for change. Okay. We saw your two beautiful children. We have to be willing to raise those children well. We have we have an army. We have an army. How do you want to raise that army? How do you want to bring them up? The morals, the standard. How do we want to raise those children that God has entrusted in our care? How do you want to raise them up? Do we want to raise them up as, them being a mirror of our past? Or we want to clean our past so that they will have they don't have to suffer what we went. So in our case, that was what, helped us. That was what made us to have that informed decision that I see. We have to, we have to live life differently.
Exactly.
We have to, we have to, change our lives. We have to be deliberate, about helping each other. If we can help each other, then we can help those children.
Honestly, there was very little else she could have done than what she did for me. I've asked myself this question severally over the years. What could she have done extra? There's nothing really. I had to come to that point where, okay, what you have been hiding from her. She knew I had a problem with masturbation, but she had never seen me. I somehow I've been telling God, I will say, God forgive me, and I will go back to it. God forgive me, and I will go back to it. So I was like, why can't I stop this thing? I didn't realize at the point that it was the porn that was keeping me at it. And until I broke that night where God just, I just could not imagine. I was like, the world be here. Because she's not a talker, but if she had even said, I am leaving today, the whole world will say, yes, this guy is guilty as charged. Back in the day, I was called GMT, yeah, Matataba. That's my alcohol, my women, and my cigarette. So it would be like, we expected it. In fact, a lot of people had already said, this guy will show himself very well. So all of those thoughts going in my head, I took my phone and I said, Lord, what do I do? How do I stop this? So I was just searching how to stop porn was the question I put on Google, and Covenant Eyes came up. How to stop porn as a Christian, that's the word. Those were my key words. And Covenant Eyes came up. I read through and I was still crying and reading. When I read, I activated it. At that time, they still had free accounts and everything. So I activated, and it told me that anything, I had to identify my triggers. What are the things triggering my porn watching and my masturbation? It's not my masturbation, God for that thing. Don't pass. And the masturbation. So I started that journey. That night, I deleted, I think, close to 800 videos on my phone.
Wow.
Videos, pornographic stuff. And then I activated, by the time she spoke with me, I was able to activate just before I fell. I finally slept around 4:35 after real confession. I read my Bible. I told God, I'm sorry. I kept on telling. In fact, I can't remember how long I was saying I'm sorry to her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because she had actually not done anything wrong. She is the one person that gave me complete sexual satisfaction. I've been in all sorts, but no, she understood how to get me satisfied, and I understood how to get her. We taught each other a lot of things. We grew, but that was the turning point. And every device of mine has a blocker. So Covenant Eyes insisted I must have 2 accountability partners. So my best friend happens to be my late father. He became my second accountability partner, and she was my first. So, and if I open a porn of any sort, whether it's an advert on social media, whatever, whether it's on my phone, whether it's on my laptop, whether it's on my tablet, she gets an email immediately. And that email is very detailed. It will tell her how many seconds I was on that site, how many minutes I was on that site, what I was watching, so that she gets that. And then, because I needed somebody that will understand that almost this now battle, now fight I did. We do not understand the dangers of virtual sex. It's really dangerous. Again, porn leads you to dopamine, and dopamine actually kills your brain cells. So I actually lost 10 years of my life to those things. I could not function. I could not think. All I was doing is, she would tell me, okay, you know what, write this letter, do this, do this. It's when she tells me do something or gives me an instruction with regards to the orphanage and even my own business as an agent. That's when it's like light bulbs just come on, bim, and every time I do, I just put small effort, something came out. But I was not able to do any creative thinking on my own. I couldn't even write.
Okay, I'll come back to you so that you continue this conversation. I just want to buttress a few things that you said so that our listener can keep up with us. So right here, you've mentioned things that are powerful because I've worked with addicts as well. So I understand what this is. When you said that you identified your triggers, what are the things that pushes you to porn? So whether it is porn, whether it is drugs or something, there are things that push you there. If you identify them, you can now be able to have power over them. Sometimes once you see the trigger coming on, you can now find other alternative things that you can do to move you from the trigger. So that was powerful. Then you found help. You know, I especially in the Christian fold, I see this a lot. People are having behavioral issues, and all they do is pray. As it is not like prayer is not effective. Prayer is so effective, but it is one key. Usually, like there's this story that was told about this guy who was in a hurricane, and then people were coming in. He was praying and asking God to save him. Was it? No, sorry, it was a flood. Praying and asking God to save him. God save me, God save me. And then there was a lifeboat that passed and they called, they whistled. He refused to climb on. He said, you know what? I want God to save me. It is God I'm waiting for to save me. That's the boat passed. Another boat came and passed. By this time, the house was half submerged in water, came and passed. He refused to follow. Then by the time he was hanging on the rooftop, because that was the only place that was dry now, an helicopter still passed and they dropped a ladder for him and said, climb up. And he said, no, I'm waiting for God to save me. He eventually died. And when he appeared before God, he said, God, I prayed earnestly. I sought your face, but you didn't come to my rescue. Then God said, all the three boats, the helicopter that passed were me coming to your assistance. So the thing is that, do we take the assistance that we are giving, or we want it to come in our own way, prescribed? You know, some people will say it is shame. It is a shame to admit to another person to go to an organization, register on their site and say, I want to be accountable. I want to stop this. So other people will get to know that I have this problem. And that shame keeps us locked in that place. So that was so powerful. We got that. And now the part that amazes me the most is that you made your wife one of your accountability partners. So it's not just that I'm ready to leave this thing, but I want you to really be on this journey with me. Now, I've had conversations with women who have said their husbands had an affair. Now, one of them told me the husband actually ended the affair, but he has completely refused to talk about it. And his refusal to talk about it has made her still doubt him till today.
This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
Sleep. with a street woman.
You become
You
one.
become one.
Mm.
You become one. Once you sleep with a man or a woman, they leave a portion of their spirit in you.
Mm.
It's not even us that were saying it. Even science says it.
Yes, science has proven it.
DNA.
Mm.
It distorts your DNA.
It distorts your DNA. Sometimes when they go and do that DNA, it's not like the child is not the husband's own, but there's another DNA that entered. And they will now see that one, that DNA of that person. It's not like it's not your husband's child or your wife. It distorts it. His spirit, his blood.
Mm.
Yeah, so, so what are we going to do to break it? So, for example, now, a man goes or a woman goes, has an affair with another person. And you don't know whether that person had an affair with like 3, 4, or 5 people. So you're carrying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus your own spirit, 6. And you don't know those 5 people have been with other people.
Yeah.
So you don't know the baggage.
And you bring it to your spouse.
You're carrying. You don't know what you're carrying. You pack all of these baggages and bring them home. And that's why we're having a lot of divorce in our society. Because you bring a lot of all these things. You sometimes when you calculate those spirits that are bringing, they're more than 100. One has spirit of dirtiness. One has spirit of intimidation. One has spirit of guilt. One has spirit of comparison. One has spirit of materialism. You pack them and bring them. The two of you pack more than 100. You bring them to your home.
And those spirits start fighting each other.
Fighting each other. This one is fighting. You are in counseling, right? Yeah. When you ask them, what is the main issue in your marriage?
Not the circumstance of the issue.
The main issue. Why are people fighting? What is the problem? What is the main issue? They cannot even tell you. They will now begin to tell you, one day, one thing, that's how he did it, just how she did it, one thing. And then you say, okay, from all of this, now what is the main issue? What's the problem? The main problem. They can't tell you what's the problem. It's because of all this yama spirit that they carry and can't marry their home.
Confusion, and then we have a lot of people coming into marriage already confused because they would have gone round and done all that sort, and then they bring it into marriage. That's so true. Like that confusion is evident. You find it, and like Mr. Emmanuel said, that he couldn't function, he couldn't concentrate. Now I remember when we were in the university, there was this young lady. She was doing so well. At 200 level, she was already in a first class. Then she started dating this guy and started having sex with him. Guess what happened eventually? Because from there, it led to others and all. One semester, she had 5 carryovers, like from nowhere, because she wasn't paying attention anymore. School had become something relegated to the background for her. This was the life, and a lot of people do not realize this. Now, Napoleon Hill also, as he did his research for what made people successful and all, he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. In that book, he said that for his 20 years research, there was one constant thing. Men that had many women in their lives did not attain success early. They didn't attain success early. And if we look at that, we even still find the truth today. That people that invest their energy in building business don't invest their energy in following women, because that takes away from here. Now, if they do that, they could still become successful, but it will take a longer time because they are dispersing their energy, their creativity. Exactly. And the deception we have is that we think that men do not lose anything when they become philanderers. That's the deception our society has always painted. We don't know that they are losing their creativity, their ability to be productive. So if you're looking at him, this is where he is. Imagine where he would have been if he was 100% focused. Imagine what he has lost from that. Now, I want to come to you, Ma. When you discovered this affair, how did you feel? Like, What was it for you? What was your experience?
You know, for somebody, you know, we had a very beautiful courtship. It was beautiful, it was amazing. A lot of people will say, what jazz did you do for Emmanuel that he's stuck with you? This man, that, you know, that kind of thing. This one that is not even, he's the ladies' man, is not even settled. Which Harma Emmanuel wants to marry you. Guy, no. What did you do to him? You know, that kind of thing. We had a beautiful relationship. In our marriage, when we started, it was beautiful. You know, it was beautiful. He has always been the supporter. Even during that adultery and, you know, those, he was always supportive. You know, he has always been supportive, nice, kind with words, helpful, you know, and all of that. So he see, when Emmanuel toasted me, when he came,
there we go.
When Emmanuel met me in my uncle's office. I was working for my uncle, and my uncle happened to be his friend. You know, so Emmanuel came to see my uncle. My uncle got married like maybe like a week or 2 weeks ago, and his wife at that time doesn't stay. She wasn't in Nigeria, so my uncle was taking his wife to the airport, and Emmanuel came with my uncle's, one of his big brother, Uncle I. Emmanuel came to the office.
They connect.
So when Emmanuel came, he came in very, like he was answer to my prayer. There were certain things that I asked God, you know, in fact, the way the man would toast me, you know, because I was in a bad relationship at that time, and I didn't want that kind of man for my children. And I asked God for, you know, certain things. I said, if this man will come and just ask me out, this is what I want to see. This is what So Emmanuel came to me with all of these things that I asked God for. If the man will give me a Bible, if the man will ask me about my, you know, prayer, my devotional life, my growth, my goals, you know, not even in the Christian way, you know, you know, my, you know, so my growth, my morals, if the man will help me and I will help him up too, you know, those kind. So he came with all of those qualities that I asked God.
Wow.
And when Emmanuel asked me out, he asked me, I can't forget. He said, have you eaten? Did you eat today? I said, yes. Did you eat yesterday? I said, yes. Did you eat the day before yesterday? I said, yes. Did you eat it on Sunday? I said, yes. So he kept asking. Then he now asked me, when last did you read your Bible? When last did you read a book? But, you know, when he said book, I was like, okay, but I'm reading a book. So he came and met me reading a book. But he said, okay, so when last did you read your Bible? I said, on Sunday in church. You know, that kind of thing. And he said, you are building your physical man, but not your
spiritual man. You're not feeding.
You're not feeding it. So what you feed your mind is what carries you. So you feed your minds with the books you read and the people, the contacts, the relationship, the networks, the communities you belong to. And he came with that. So you know, somebody that put you on a pedestal, I put him on that, like a pole wire up, you know, that up there. I put him on that there. Then he put me
television pole.
That pole. And then he let me fall like this. And then he didn't even hold me, he let me crash.
Wow.
You know, so it's like you have an egg that you are protecting, and then the egg breaks. So I was totally devastated. I was depressed.
She went into depression.
I went into serious depression. I went into depression. Those that are closer to me will understand. They didn't know that this was what was happening to me. They didn't know because me, I'm I was.
She's a very close
I'm
person,
a very close person. I don't want to share my challenges or my problems because I don't want people to say this or that. And I don't want the people that I love, whether they are friends, girlfriends, or male friends, I don't want people to look at them with a bad eye, So I didn't want to share, I didn't even want to tell my mom. I didn't even tell her. Because if I had told my mom, she would just say, Dama, I don't want, I don't want my children, that kind of thing. And then she would begin to look at him with,
bad eye.
And I didn't want it. So I was keeping everything to myself. So I went into severe depression. I was on antidepressants for a while. It was so bad, that a point came that I had to pack my things early, very early in the morning. As soon as the cock crew, I packed my things and I left the house. So, I left the house. We were staying in the family house because we moved to the family house to take care of his parents. His late parents were very sick, especially his mom. And his mom was my prayer partner. I couldn't even tell her that this is what your son is doing. I couldn't bring myself down because she'll be heartbroken because she really loves him. And she loves him and she loves me so much. Like the love she had for him, she had like ×5 of the love for me. She took me as the child that came out of her womb. So I couldn't bring myself down to even tell her this is what is happening. But somehow she would decode and say, she just mentioned something. You don't say these kind of things. I know men are like this. She want to make me talk. I will not even say anything. I won't say anything. I'll just smile, and just leave. I won't say anything. So it was like I put him on a high thing, and then we're together and then he let me fall. And he was still there. I let me fall and I was totally broken. So there was this morning I got up to leave. I left actually. So he ran and told his father, and he was with his mom in the room. His father said, "Stay."
I have to confess my sins.
He was the one that went and told his mom. I didn't tell her anything. And his late father followed me. I was walking with people that know where we stay. I was walking to the junction, and his father did not say anything. He was just following me. He didn't even call me. He didn't say, come. He was just following me, like, wherever you want to go, I'll go with you. So that's the power also of relationship, keeping good relationships with your in-laws.
Having good in-laws too.
That's the power. So, and I didn't know that his mom called my mom. And my mom was going for morning glory. It was on a Saturday. I was going for morning glory and in the church. And my mom called me. And when she called me, she said, "Where are you?" I said, "Well, what do you mean? Where am I? What do you mean? Are you going to tell me not to come to your house again? I know that I've called you." I said, being defensive and everything. Then she now said, "Calm down, baby girl, calm down. I love you." So they're using those to praise me and say, I said, no. See, if you don't want me to come to your house, I will go and look. Just I don't have money. I said, "Charge." She said, "Okay, wherever you are, just stay there. I'm coming. I'll come and pick you myself and take you so that you can rest." When I had that, using psychology, I just calmed down, and I sat down at the junction. And my father-in-law sat close to me. All he was doing was he was just touching me, my shoulder. He didn't even know, he was just touching me. He didn't know the right words to
And they are counselors, so they didn't even know how to.
They've been counseling people for more than 40 years before they even died.
Wow.
So you can imagine counselors not even knowing how to counsel their children or how to bring this. This is like a devastating situation. How can they say that we're counselors and our children are falling apart? What is happening? So that was where, that was how. But when my mom came, and she said, enter the car. And my father-in-law entered the car and she drove straight back to our house. And my own father was dead at that time. So the three of them, my mother, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, the three of them intervened. So family, for us,
family is key.
It was key to our relation and key to our healing. So, so it was key to our healing.
So parents should not take sides. Parents should not take sides. They should do everything to bring their children back together.
This is so powerful, because sometimes when you say parents do not take sides, sometimes it's even the girl's parents that tell her, go back. That's how men are. As long as he's providing for you and he's meeting your needs, you shouldn't bother about what he does outside. Like, I've met women who this is their story, and it's sad because that only gives permission for the thing to continue. Because I've noticed that if the man really loves the woman and he sees that he's going to lose her, he can make a U-turn. Many men do.
It's not that any man that is having an affair, it's not that he doesn't love. In fact, he loves his wife. The truth about sexual affairs is that you can't even remember, especially for the man, he can't remember the person he slept with 2 minutes after. He can't remember what it was like. And the only time he gets his full satisfaction is with his spouse.
Wow.
So it like I said, it's a cycle. So you just keep repeating it. So you come down, you search for it, you get to the crescendo. When you get to it, you go back again. You're searching. So you keep looking for her in every other person and never find her in another person.
Yeah. So it's kind of like masturbation or any other kind of addiction, where you want it so bad, but when you have it, you don't see, it's empty. And then by the time you are dry again, you are seeking for it and all. Now, I've seen men retrace their when their wives really mean that they are done in this relationship. And my challenge, though, and I'm happy that it didn't happen with you, is that many men wait until their women are totally exhausted before they take that step to retrace. By the time they are coming back, the woman is no longer there. She has checked out emotionally from the relationship. So I want to come back to you, Ma. You said you were depressed and you had a phase of depression. Some people just think that because he apologized, you should just forgive and forget and move on as if nothing had happened. But you experienced depression because it's also about your perception of your relationship, your perception of him, and all, and everything, the hopes and dreams, the aspirations, the dreams you have built, if as a person and as a family, all that crashing down when you discover an affair. So can you walk us through some of the things you began to do to heal as a person from the depression, and then maybe as a couple to build back trust in your relationship?
This is not a very easy question. It sounds very easy, right? But it's not very easy. I said you have to be deliberate.
Exactly. That's key.
And you have to also work on your mental health. So I've heard a lot of people say, go your separate ways, and everything, is best that way. So a lot of people didn't know that we were separated for a while, not for a long time though, not for a long time, for a while. And I mean, maybe like a week or two, and it gave us time to think about, our lives and ourselves.
Appreciate our
values, and I kept a journal. And it's actually started with there's this film. I can't remember the name of the film, but I think it's Love Dear.
Is it Love Dear?
It's called Love Dear. Whether it's the film was a diary, Love Dear.
Fireproof my marriage.
Fireproof my marriage.
That's a very beautiful movie.
Yes. So it wasn't like you know, so I started doing
the love there.
40
days.
But I didn't do the love there. I created my own. My own, what I want to do in a 40 days or a 30 days cycle.
I actually told her she was patronizing.
There was a time I bought a gift. I'm like, he said I'm patronizing him, and I'm like, look at this guy. You're the one that is hurting me, and I'm buying something, and you're telling me I'm patronizing you. I felt like that moment. I felt like, I see, I beg, just be going, you know. But I felt in my spirit that no, you know, if you really want to make this work, it's going to be hard. It's hard work. Marriage is hard work.
It's not good hard work.
It's bad. Yeah, but you have to be deliberate. You have to, you know, you have to be deliberate. I see people on social media saying, hey, go into war room, enter war room. Like you said, prayer is just the key. But there are things that you need to do. You know, like, okay, I said, okay, I said, let's go for lunch. I took him out for lunch. And then I said, I booked a hotel. You know, let's go for weekend. And so those were the times. And then let's go for clubbing. And people will say, that's kind of, we clubbed.
We clubbed.
Let me tell you, we clubbed. And that was what really helped us. We will go, we will dance, you know, we'll go out to our friends. Those were the times that people were seeing us and saying, hey, these people like chilling. Hey, they have orphanage, they like to chill, like chilling too much. But they didn't know what I was going through.
What we were both going through.
You know, one of my mentors, Stella, called me one of the times. I can be in my room. I just enjoyed my company. I will stay in my room, carry my blanket, cover my head, and I'll be giving instructions under blanket to my staff. I'll be paying salaries under my blanket. I'm buying food under blankets for the children in the orphanage under blanket. If they say children are sick and I don't know what to do, under my blanket, I'll be sending messages for fundraising. I'll be doing fundraising, everything in my room. I can be in my room for 1 week. I won't go to the parlor. I won't step out of the gate. 1 month. I will not be. I won't care. And I really didn't care. You know, I'll just be there. So my mentor called me, Estella. She said, she asked me, how are you? You know that song, how are you, my friend?
Yeah.
It's a strong song. That question, how are you, is a strong question. She said, how are you? I said, I'm okay. I'm just, then I know just that time when you ask me, how are you? I'll just start crying. But I can tell you I'm okay. Oh, the next thing is I can be crying and you don't even know I'm crying. But because, you know, she was, you know, one of my mentors.
She's very alert.
And she was alert and she heard my voice change. And she said, let me call you video. She's in US. She called me video and she saw my eyes. I was crying. So what is the problem? I couldn't even bring myself down to tell her, this is the problem. And she just said, okay, what are the signs? What are you going through? I just started telling her, how are you feeling? I said, I'm feeling numbness. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do the things I enjoy doing. I don't want to do. I can't forget her words. Say, you're going down, you're going down. Then she said, I rebuke the spirit of depression out. Me, I didn't even know saying a depression. I didn't even know. She was the one that encouraged me to see a doctor, you know, and all of that. Do what you love doing. She will call me every day. Every day she will call me. She said, what do you love doing? I said, I love to dance. I love to hang out like once in a while. It's not like a, you know, she said, okay, I see, you know, you love to dance. So why not look for a place to dance? And then we started going out, you know, go and dance. We have this friend, Rosemary. She's the life of the party. So if you tell her, come, let's go to, before you say to here, you say, I'm at home, I'm dressed, come and pick me. You know, so Rosemary was actually, God used her. And we will go to dance, go to ballet in Jos, and we'll go and dance. Whether it's 30 minutes, we'll go and dance. We'll dance, we'll shout, and we'll come back home, we'll laugh and be, you know, discussing the small children we're seeing in the club. We'll laugh. laugh and come. We just, whether it's 30 minutes. So people were seeing us and they were saying, these people love to chill, but they didn't know that it was part of our mental
healing.
So those were the things that we did at that time.
So at that time, I also made a decision that I needed to woo her. So I started toasting again. I toasted as a Christian boy the first time, but now I had to toast. Everything I had learned, it was unlearned. I didn't even know how to start. So one of the things I started doing was I would call her. Hello, am I talking to KYEMPIYA? Is that KYEMPIYA? She was like, are you okay? What's wrong with you? I said, oh, my name is Emmanuel. So person gave me your number. I'd like to meet up with you. I saw your picture.
Then I will now tell him, is that how you toast your girls? Those girls. So it became like fun. It became like, we're having fun. And eventually, we just warmed up. I just warmed, because truly I had removed my mind on marriage.
I had done this.
I had already, like, this man doesn't exist again in my life. I had already planned my exit plan to leave. I didn't care, so of course, yes, the orphanage, the children, I had, I would have justified, what I have done.
Yeah.
I would have, because everybody was seeing him, everybody had been seeing my dad as that Emmanuel, that kind of thing, so I would have said he was doing this, and everybody would go with me, because me, I'm an introvert now, so nobody really knew but everybody knows that, this, by my body, that kind of thing, so, but we had to be deliberate to help each other, to work with each other, and to see, and the prayer that came is, before I got married, I was saying, okay, the man that will build me and I'll build him. And he was asking for the woman that will build her, and he'll build her, and the woman will build him too. So coincidentally, we're asking for the same thing even before we got married. So those were when we're saying our vows, for better or worse. See, those of you watching, don't say that these people are saying they are advocating for domestic violence. If there's domestic violence involved, please
get out.
Go look for safety. You cannot come and die. You cannot die. State your evidence. Everything is there, and leave for your safety. Don't die before your time.
If he's really serious, he will find his own healing help.
Yes.
And exactly. You can reconnect.
I tell women that, I say, if you walk out. In fact, I had a conversation with one of my clients recently, and I told her, I said, if you leave and he really wants you, he will go seek for the help he requires to heal. Exactly. And then come back. Separation is okay. Separation does not mean that the relationship has ended. Separation gives him time to work on himself and come back to the relationship. And you also said that you had to separate for a while because everybody had to refocus. Look at this again and ask yourself, why am I here? What's my why for being in this relationship? And I'm going to ask you that question in a bit. What made you stay? Why didn't you that we have those whys that keep us going? So that's something that I want you to answer. Then another thing that you mentioned was, look for the things that you can do for yourself. With depression, a lot of people do not know how to come out of depression. I've had opportunities to meet women who fall into depression also because their men were cheating on them. I don't know, there's that thing of, because of the loss of hope that a lot of people feel when affairs happen. So I seem to have lost. Okay, you're back.
Okay, we're here.
Okay. So many people, when they go through depression, do not know that there are simple things they can do to help themselves, like a lot of body movement. So dancing was huge, because dancing, like exercise, helps your brain to recalibrate and give you those essential transmitters that you stop excreting, because of the depression. So they bring back serotonin into the system and all to help you walk through the depression. So that was amazing that you had people. Now that's another thing, people, that you have relationships with family, because family is, I tell people that we don't understand what we have in Africa, that we have our family that go to, our family that forms a support base for us as we create a new family. That is so huge. So you had a support family, and I can only wish that everybody has that too when they get married, and if you are married, I only wish that you can deliberately create that with your family right now, to have that base. Then you also have mentors, people to look up to. A lot of people go through it alone without anybody. That's like heading for the rocks, because if you're doing something wrong, there's nobody to call you back and say, this thing you are doing is not wise, and then, okay, like what you said, you didn't even realize you were depressed. So imagine if this depression had gotten to suicidal attempts and all, you wouldn't even realize that you were there, if not that you had a mentor, somebody that knows you well enough to, and then knows a lot about this stuff, to be able to say, if you are feeling numbness, if you are unable to sleep, if you cry a lot, then you are possibly depressed, get help. So those were huge. Now I want to come back to the question, why did you stay? Why didn't you walk away?
Okay, most of it is selfish. It's selfish. Why did I stay? Okay. I didn't, like I told you, that I'm a very closed person, very, private and everything. So it was like, I didn't want people to say, KYEMPIYA, want to, let my name, I don't want to spoil my name, that kind of thing, my name, that kind of thing. And also, a lot of women stay because of their children. Me, it was not in my mind though. Staying because of my children wasn't in my mind. I will leave the children now. I told him, I said, I'll leave the children, I'll go with them. I'll go with them. I know how to take care of my children. But like, Tema, you're not even taking care of them. You're not performing your fatherly duties. So I will go with them. I know how to take care of my children myself. So that one was not even there. I said, me, in this house, I'm the man, I'm the father, I'm the mother. So whatever you are doing, that's your business. That was not children. It wasn't in my mind. But I think the major was the army of children that I had in my hand. And that time, there was so much crisis on the plateau and the Northeast and all of that. So we had so many children that were coming in with trauma, So I believe those children were even part of my recovery. Let me talk about me, my own recovery. Because I saw those children coming when I started doing trauma counseling or healing. I saw these children, like my problem was not even a problem. So sometimes I would just call him and say, Ima, this person needs a father. Go and handle him. Take care of him, the situation. In the process of all of these challenges, I'll say, Ima, go and handle him. This person needs the father. And he will say, when he's taking some, he say, KYEMPIYA, I think this girl needs a hug, go and hug.
And she's not a hugger.
I'm not a hugger. Like I really don't like her. So I really didn't want. So these children helped me to define who I am, and all of that. So I just say our own children, our own boys, they have us now. I know how to take care of my children. I'll hug them, I'll kiss them, I'll give them, I'll do what I need to do. After all, you're an absentee father. Just go there. But these children that came in from crisis zones, especially the Boko Haram children, that came in from those, really that saw their parents being killed and all of that, they redefined my life. And I told myself, so now they don't have father, they don't have mother. If I leave now, who will be their mother? Who will be their mother? So they'll be saying, it's like what they've gone through, with bandits and everything, and they've come to seek solace in us. We're even worse, we're more than bandits.
Because you are taking away their safety again, like re-traumatizing them. Wow.
Yes. So for me, the children, redefined. So they helped me to stay. These children, they used to do like winch. They, they'll just say, they'll just come and say, mommy, I'm here to, mommy. They'll be calling me. I'm like, what is it? What do you want? Where is daddy? Is that why you're calling me? Why are you asking me where's daddy? You know where daddy is. I'm gone. Mommy, where is daddy? So they want, so God, used those children to heal us. So I think basically, for me, so sometimes it may be your work, sometimes it may be your children, sometimes it may be the things you love, sometimes it may be just anything, whether the book you love to read or maybe social. Somehow there's something that will make you want to stay somehow. So, but for me, was the children that came in from the Northeast, that redefined.
When you talk about this, you just confirm one of the researches about how people are eventually become very happy, that they have something in their relationship, a vision, a purpose that is bigger than themselves. So like those children are bigger than you, your feeling, your heart, and everything. And then in a good way, because they did not just make you stay, but they made you heal. Because to be able to parent those children and give them what they needed, it's not just about being there, it's about being there and being whole. It's also about being a mother and a father and modeling what parents should be to them. So that gave you something to hold on to. And it's huge. Like it is one of the things that they say keep couples, researchers have said, keep couples through hard times, having something bigger than them that keeps them together. So it's not selfish at all. It is God's design that we have something like that will help us when challenges hit, to be able to stay there and focus and face it. I mean, just look at the story of Jesus too. If not for us, he wouldn't have endured that shame, all that humiliation, right? He would have just, I beg, please, it's okay. Let me show you who I am, and let's finish the story here. So that's so powerful. Now, my final question to you, second to the last question to you would be, what's your recommendation for people who are struggling either with addictions or with an affair, or somebody who, like you, is that woman or that man just discovered that their partner has been unfaithful and is hurting, is in that place where they do not know what next to do. They are just in oblivion. Their lives have just crumbled in front of them. What would be your recommendation or your advice for them?
First and foremost, take it to the Lord. You can never truly get recovery without God.
God gives you the wisdom.
He gives you the wisdom of how to handle what you're facing. When you've done that, find people who you could be accountable to, who can mentor you, who can help your healing process. I have always been a fighter, and I told you, a Nupe man, I'm very proud. The sadness of that, I cannot fight this battle. So I started that war. Today, I am an accountability partner to at least 150 men and women come to me with their trials, and I start them through a process, especially those who are involved in porn. There's a cycle, so I take them through the process and help them to heal. And I make sure that I become, if they find their triggers are shining at them again, I ensure that I am there for you 24/7. I put my phone on silent, but it's on vibration. So if you call me at night, I will pick. Even no matter how bad it be, I will get up, answer, because I have to make sure that I'm keeping you from harm's way. For me, the decision was mine with God. And I was like, my father had a blissful marriage. He showed me everything about a good marriage. So I'm supposed to do greater than him. So that's what the Bible says. So, no fear happen now. You find your road. So I made my decision. This is my battle. I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to keep this woman. I also signed up. There was a period where when we're fighting and she's really at it, I'll just tell her. And one time we even pulled because we still have our vows, I pull it out. It's laminated. I reading it. Baby girl, now what you sign with me? You and I against the world now. How far? So you know what? We have signed up for forever. And if there's a day after forever, we did it together. So what are you talking about? So again, once you've asked God for wisdom, I've never been calm. I'm the happy-go-lucky one. I'm everywhere. I'm sanguine. So you can see, even today, she's done most of the talking. God just has rearranged my person. So I'm calmer now. And maybe because I don't old.
Modified.
Modified, okay. I hear. But I've become a better listener. And one of the things that drove me, like she said, it's the children. I wasn't driven for myself. I was driven that I've been absent for too long in the lives of my children, and I must leave a legacy. If these children are going to do better than I have done, then I must show them the road forward so that they know what they're doing, where they're going, and they know what they're going to achieve, first for their Father in heaven, then for themselves, under Him, under God, that and the world. So my book will soon be out. Africa Needs a Father. A 352 system of fatherhood boils down to my path as a father and my experiences as a professional footballer. So
and the dangers of
pornography. So it will be out. With several books that will be out very shortly. We're putting ourselves out, not because we're saints. I know be saints. She's not a saint. In fact, the guy we break her, he came toasting again. Wow. And we rearrange things. Because at that point, we're fighting to keep ourselves, so we rearrange things. I helped him to secure his own plots. My guy.
You can leave your own in peace. Wow.
In peace.
Fantastic. Yes,
so I tell men that you should, whatever you think is out there, na lie, you'll regret it. So ask God to help you, then fight. Fight. One of the films that motivated me through this battle was 300. The Greeks went to war with...
I know that movie. 300 men.
Because of one woman. That king, her husband died with his 300 bodyguards because of that one woman. So it's the mythological story, but for me, I was looking at it as the reluctant one that God sent out, and God told him, "You are too many. Reduce the number," and there were 300 that went to fight. So you've got to be willing to fight for that woman. You've got to find why you fell in love with that woman first. And let me tell you, love never dies. It only changes its object of attraction. So if you change your object and pull her back, bring her back, and point it to where it ought to.
Yeah, you know, you hear men or women say, Nagaji, I'm tired. I will not come and go and kill myself.
They're truly tired.
I'm tired. No, they are tired at that moment because it's the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
But if you are willing, you eat the fruit of the land. It's not now. We have counseled a woman that is right now, she's over 60. Got divorced in her early, maybe like late 20s.
Yeah.
The child. And fast forward, she said, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten it. That because when she looks back, it's like, why did I even get divorced in the first place? You know. So it's not now that everything is doing you, you want to go. Get help. All the help you need, get it. In your old age, you eat the fruit of your labor. It's not now. With patience, with perseverance, what you have sown, you will reap. Because in old age, that's when you will need companionship.
Of course. And I was not planning to be alone. No. I've yet, but it's not possible.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And I tell people that they say, oh, so you want us to stay and die? I said, no, get help. And you just said it, get help. Don't stay and die. Don't stay in that frustration. Don't stay in that depression. Get help, find help, utilize the help, fight through and win, because you can win. I think that's their message, and it resounds. And I'm so glad that we have somebody who has gone through this and is going to be writing a book. Please, when your book is out, let us know, so that as many people as want to have this book and begin to their journey through healing from pornography, from addiction, from infidelity, can have a material that they can go to. Somebody who has been there, gone through it, and the beautiful thing, willing to talk about it openly, willing to share what other people will term shame, to help other people. And we want to thank you so much for being that person. I think that's why God allowed you to go through this, because even scripture says it is with the consolation that we have received that we can give. If you have not understood a path, it is harder to be empathic to people that are going through that path, except if you take out time to deliberately study and become studious in that. So thank you so much for what you are doing. Now, before you go, we just want you to say something, your thoughts about Rings That Bind, what you think about what we are doing here and all, before we end the show today.
Okay. Social media is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
When you like his book, like he said, it will soon be out. Maybe by the end of the month or so, it will soon be out. E-copy is an e-copy. When you make a post and you see maybe 2 or 3 likes, then you go to your views inside. You see like 100 and something views. Social media is a very, very powerful tool. And we thank Rings That Bind for calling us and reaching out to us to share our story, to share our experiences for the last 20 years. If we tell 1 or 2 people, like each one tell one physically, it will not reach anywhere. But if we are now partners in progress with Rings That Bind, and we know that people out there are watching and they are listening, and we know that even if it's one person,
somebody gets healed.
Somebody gets healed. Thank you for all you do. And this is beyond rings that bind. This is healing, trauma healing, heart healing, mind healing, soul healing, body healing. You're doing everything.
Advice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Quick one. You have both our numbers. They are on WhatsApp. You can reach us on Bedroom Talk with Ima and Ken on Facebook, Instagram. Okay, we're about to do Threads. And we're on YouTube. But you can reach out to us if you need help. Please don't be afraid. Satan does not want you to come out of that thing. He wants to keep you down. I'm not even afraid to tell people that, hey, daily I fight this battle. Because you think pornography is not in your face. It's on your TV. True. It's on your devices. You open one, they tailor ads towards you. So if you don't shut the door, it will overtake you. So please, you need help. Just about a week or two ago, a young man said it on one of the programs we were talking, and we got in touch, and he's already started his process of healing.
Wow.
Things that have affected him. So please don't be afraid. If you feel that you can't talk to a man, talk to a woman. If you feel you can't talk to a woman, talk to the man. Whatever it will take. Together will help you get better.
Yeah. And Rings That Binds is also here for you.
Yes, they're here for you, for sure. You can reach out to them.
You know, there's something that we say, sin
is very expensive.
It's expensive and it thrives in silence.
Yes.
And you're there, you're dying each day. So get help. Talk to somebody. Talk to Rings That Binds. Talk to their partners. Any of their partners that have come on this show, talk to them, reach out to them, talk to them. We're here, all of us are here for you. Thank you very much. God bless.
Heavenly Father, for all that are out there who are needing healing, we ask that, Lord, the peace that surpasses all understanding that Jesus Christ will overtake them now in the mighty name of Jesus. Cause a rain of your goodness to flood their souls, their spirit, and their being, their entire being, in the mighty name of Jesus. We again also bring to you Rings That Bind. Father, send finances, because it's not easy to do social media. It's not easy to run these things. They are costly. So send them help. I call forth finances for Rings That Binds, for Nancy and her family, from the north, from the east, from the west, from the south. It is called news. How lovely are the feet of them that bring good news, proclaiming nothing is missing, nothing is broken. We declare and decree that the best days are here for you. In the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Holy Spirit, we declare. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Listener, I'm sure that today's episode, you have learned something. Please do us a favor, share this, comment, let other people get to watch this so that we spread this word and get a lot of people healed, a lot of marriages rescued and delivered. Thank you for being here once again. Have a beautiful night rest and hope to see you again next week Thursday as we bring another interesting couple that will inspire us in a different way. Goodbye and God bless you.